Fiala just fighting off two defenders at the same time like he's Captain America in the elevator. Hat picks. Hello friends, Steve Dangle here, and welcome to the first edition of Steve's Hat Picks of 2023. A lot happened since the last time I saw you. Well, the last time I saw you on Hat Picks, because we did a stream of Watch Hockey Night in Canada with Steve Dangle, presented by Coca-Cola, on the Sportsnet YouTube channel. But possibly even more notable than that, we released a Dang It's video where I had a visible booger the entire time. The comments. There were so many comments. But this time, I think I'm good. So since it's been a few weeks since the last edition of Steve's Hat Picks, let's look at the best from around the NHL over the past few weeks. We start with an empty netter, and it's not a particularly impressive empty netter, apart from the fact that it moved Alexander Ovechkin into second in all-time NHL goal scoring.
Jensen plays it ahead. Picked by Connor, played onto Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin at the line, feeds it. Kuznetsov doesn't want to shoot it.
I'm not sure Ovi wanted to shoot it either.
There it is! There it is! Alex Ovechkin has overtaken Mr. Hockey. And one great hill left to climb.
Astounding, spectacular, and absolutely wonderful to do it here on home ice with all its fans in attendance, everybody clad in the Grade 8's numbers, saluting the fans. Alex Ovechkin tried to give that to Kuzi. Kuzi said, I don't want it, I'll give it right back to you. He spins it around and just fires it at the net. Something only Ovi could do with Morrissey all over him. And the family and friends, all 18,000 plus, cheer in unison here in Washington.
Don't ever tell me a jersey doesn't matter. Like, for example, Buffalo Sabres fans swear up and down that the goat head jersey is going to propel them to a playoff spot, and they just might be right. It gives them something. But Alexander Ovechkin, when he's wearing the Washington Capitals reverse retro jersey from his rookie season, it does something to him. And while it does look like he'll eventually be able to do it, that hill to first ever in NHL goal scoring, it's a big mountain to climb. Let's see what happens next. But in the meantime, that's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, this play is so disgusting that it would end up in hat picks on its own, but it also just happens to feature Brent Burns' 800th career NHL point. Check out this passing play from the Carolina Hurricanes.
Showed you how important the face-off win was. Puck possession.
Racing up ice is Slavin. Locates Burns. Pass over and in front. Score! It's Slavin! They went the full 200 feet. 23 seconds into overtime, and the Hurricanes prevail 4-3, the final score.
And guys,
yeah, that was really, might have been his shot blockers that were onside.
wow, great hands. That's a defenseman
Wow.
to make that move in tight quarters. That's an incredible move by Slavin. He's going at full speed there, Mearsy. For him to be able to take that pass and turn it that quickly, that is beautiful, handsy stuff.
I didn't get to watch this live. Was this a particularly chippy game? Like, were they mad at each other? Did they seem mad? Because I don't care if no punches were thrown. That is violence. Man, the Carolina Hurricanes are a wagon, and it's hilarious that while we were gone, they just willy-nilly got Max Pacioretty back, who you didn't even know was traded there. You did know, you forgot. Disgusting play. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, last year I ranted and raved about how the St. Louis Blues are full of underrated players, and by the end of the season, they weren't underrated anymore. Jordan Kyrou was at the All-Star game. I suppose you can't be underrated when you do that, and it just so happens he factors in on this play along with Robert Thomas and Pavel Buchnevich.
And it rolled on him, but then he knocks it out of midair. Now Thomas back in for Buchnevich. To the net, tip, they score! Kyrou with a brilliant tip in.
Devils were going to be okay, but the Blues stay with it. And I don't know how the heck did he see him there? What a pass this is. Eyes on the back of his head. I mean, it is so much on the money. John Kelly, you would have put your stick on the ice and laid that one in right there.
All right. Producer Nick said, and I quote, best pass to tip ever? Yes, I printed it. Apparently, producer Nick's New Year's resolution to avoid hyperbole was broken after less than 2 weeks, but It's a nasty goal, isn't it? The Blues are so weird. They're so weird. You can watch them any given night and be like, are you good? And by the end of the game, the answer is for sure, no, they're not. And then the very next night, they'll do something like this. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, I often say, if you're a goaltender, thank you. Yes, that's right. Tend the goal. Well, sometimes if you face a shooter sneaky enough, they can beat you even when you're doing that. Here's Kirill Kaprizov right off of Jake Ottinger's, well, you'll see.
Kaprizov got a piece of it. He dances out of traffic and scores! Kirill Kaprizov with an amazing play out of the corner.
Here comes up with a loose puck. I'd mentioned it earlier in the broadcast that I noticed the Wild were shooting from all kinds of weird angles. I don't know if they found something in the scouting report about maybe Ottinger not great at sealing off the post, but Kirill Kaprizov bounces one off the side of Ottinger's head.
Okay, what's more wild? A, the fact that Kirill Kaprizov did this on purpose, like for sure aimed at Jake Ottinger's head to bank it in off his head on purpose. B, that he was good enough to succeed at doing that. Or the third option, you're allowed to shoot the puck at someone's head. Which doesn't sound that bad at first until you think about it a little bit more. And yeah, should we be able to? Like, it's hockey and accidents happen. If you shoot a puck and it happens to go off someone's helmet or accidentally get them in the face, it's just part of the game. When was the last time you saw someone just crank a puck 90 plus miles an hour directly at someone's face on purpose? If you did that, it would be shock and horror, and it would be on every... It wouldn't even be on the highlights. It'd be on, like, the news. Like, we'd be calling for that player to get out of the league because, oh my goodness, well, like, you're out of your mind. But if you aim at the goalie's head and bank it in off his head to score a goal, oh, well, you're a strategist. The sport will never not be the weirdest. That's a hat pick. And surprisingly, it wasn't the only bank goal scored off a goalie in our little absence. Here's Stephan Noesen with Mackenzie Blackwood, although he didn't have to bank it off his head.
Headed to the bench.
Carolina's able to get this puck in deep. Flip chance behind the net. Noesen with some sorcery.
Portion of the tour, and it was fully intentional. Noesen looked to step on, I think, just as an art of deception, because Blackwood was looking at his eyes. And I think the entire time he's thinking, I'm going to sell a pass, and I'm going right off his backside and into the net.
Blackwood having a bit of a tough season on a team that's had a bit of a bounce back of a season, but Stephan Noesen is an incredible story. Former real high pick in the NHL draft, toils away, has a difficult time establishing his footing until the point where he's basically out of the league. Then he goes down to the American Hockey League and decides, all right, I'm trashing the place. Rips it up, scorches it, cannot stop scoring, wins a championship to boot, and here he is with the Carolina Hurricanes doing this. The goal is cool, but so's the story. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, maybe this is something that you can take into the new year. Sometimes it's okay to just follow yourself.
He sends throw it in.
DeBrusk beats Shabbat. Whoa! The crazy bounce off the glass, and he tucks it in. He undressed Thomas Shabbat at the blue line.
And the Bruins wisely take advantage of it. They go the three forwards, get back to the puck quick. Bergeron gets open in the neutral zone. He has that bump back because DeBrusk's coming with a ton of speed. Yeah, they get a good bounce off the stanchion. No question about it. But you get rewarded for making smart plays and the right plays. And the Bruins respond very quickly to tie the hockey game. DeBrusk, great speed.
Dude, I love a save when the goalie is able to track it the entire time. No one knew where this puck was, except for the guy who shot it. Jake DeBrusk shoots this. It obviously goes well wide, but he tracks it the entire time, gets his own rebound. Can he get 2 points? Can he get a goal and an assist? And it goes in. Dude, I'm not sure anyone can stop the Bruins right now. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, producer Nick said this had to be in here. It was on the Dangits video because this was the 5th goal in a 5-4 comeback win where Detroit was down 4-0 to the Pittsburgh Penguins and ended up winning. But producer Nick said the Selly is a hat pick. Here's Jake Walman and, well,
Saved by Halbert. No, the other way.
All three.
Here's Kopp. Back in front. They
What a
score!
play. Oh, my God. What a play.
Walman! What a silly! A winner for Jake Walman, and the Red Wings take it 5-4 after being down 4-0 in Pittsburgh.
This was a Rasmussen play again with Kopp. Oh, he got the rebound and hit the post. Oh, my goodness. He's going, are you kidding? And from that, the Penguins go 3-on-1 and aren't able to cash in. The whole back comes Detroit the other way. What a setup.
What a selling. Look at that.
Gee.
Love it.
So Kopp, who hits the post, makes the play to Walman, and that's all she wrote. Wow.
Watch this. That's how to celebrate.
So Nick just asked me, does Steve approve? Yeah, I do. I'm trying to think of a situation where I wouldn't approve. Maybe if this was like the third goal in a 7-3 loss. I'm sorry, you're down 4-0, you win at 5-4 in overtime, and it was Walman's like second goal of the year too. Yeah, you get to hit whatever dance move you want. It's fun! It's just fun. Listen, I would love to sit here and say that a fun thing is bad and not fun, and then get a TV job, and then become coach of the Philadelphia Flyers. But it doesn't work that way in my brain. I see a fun thing, and I like the fun thing. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, ooh boy, a lot of early season tweets looking silly on this one. Igor Shesterkin. Didn't have the greatest start, but oh man, can he stop a puck. Look at this.
Kuznetsov goes cross corner. Fox gets there. Tried to clear, knocked down by Ovechkin, gets it through. That pass tip. And a save by Shesterkin as he robbed Johansson on the backhander.
And here comes he's going one way, and can you stretch any further than that with your leg or your arm? This is just an unbelievable save. How he just stops somehow.
Love a good desperation save. Screw being in position, screw the cookie cutter, screw everything. Look at Shesterkin stretch out for this thing. Barely getting it. I especially like the look of relief on his face as he's falling backward before the whistle's even blown. He's not the reigning Vezina Trophy winner for nothing. That's a hat pick. Someone whose season has not been quite as good as Igor Shesterkin's is Sergei Bobrovsky. But on this play, he makes the save. Oh, and he puts a little mustard on it.
That shot deflected off Carter Verhaeghe. In front, Larkin all alone. Oh, what a save! Oh, larceny by Bobrovsky.
Both straight back out. Rasmussen. Wow. Larkin was almost too close. Nowhere to go with it. He blew it right into his trapper. Wow.
I remember when Patrick Waugh did that after making a save, he dropped it.
Real nice save, and it does deserve to be a hat pick, but the content creator in me laments that he didn't drop this puck, get scored on, and this could be the dang it of the year. Modern day Patrick Waugh, except it's not a compliment. I guess we'll have to settle for the spectacular save. That's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, another goalie with a goaltending performance that sunk me in fantasy this past week. Dude, I was tied with my opponent all week, and I wake up in the morning, I'm losing by like 30. Like I wasn't even within arm's reach, and I'm like, what the heck happened? Oh, UC Saros put up 13 fantasy points because he made 64 saves and won. In fact, one of those saves at the very end of it all was this.
Natchez again into the slot. Saucers it to Burns. Pacioretty in front. Luke Park. And what a play! It stayed out. Lausanne, I think, caught it.
62 saves now. And this is that play on the penalty kill. Watch this. Backdoor. Saros gets a stick on it. Then Saros and Lausanne together. He stays there. He knows where the puck is. Let's see what happens. Here's a better angle of it. Off the toe. Lausanne and Saros.
That's dumb. That's so stupid dumb that he was able to do that to the Carolina Hurricanes too. Old division rivals, and right now you're going, what? When were they? Oh, right, the COVID year. Listen, I think Colorado was going to win the cup last year no matter what, but people forget They had way too easy of a time with the Nashville Predators because the Preds did not have UC Saros. If Nashville gets in, have fun with 4 to 7 games of that. That's a hat pick. Our next hat pick is a highlight from a Columbus Blue Jackets Chicago Blackhawks game. Not a sentence that I expected to say in the 2022-2023 NHL season. But here's Alex Stalock, who may be the best player on the Chicago Blackhawks, robbing Johnny Hockey.
Let's hope the Jackets get those goals and more. Here's Goodbranson. Drops it back up high. The shot comes through. Rebound! Oh, Stalock got a piece of it before it crossed the line. That one went right through the blue paint.
Why is he hitting the glass? Because Alex Stalock with the paddle. Oh, my! Johnny.
You cannot keep Stalock down. You cannot keep him out of this league. He's had so many times where it looks like he might be done. And then he comes back, has the season that he's having, and does this to Johnny Gaudreau? Yeah, that's a hat pick. For our next hat pick, it's the Minnesota Wild. Look closely because you might not catch what happened the first time you see it. I know I didn't.
From there, he's going to be unbelievable.
Wild throw to the far corner. Gaudreau brings it up. Far point, shot, scores! Tipped in front, Hartman got to the net, and it's a 1-goal game again.
Did you see it? You might not have. If you pay close attention to the right angle, Ryan Hartman bats this thing out of mid-air.
Cut before this period ends, coming up on the board here, and the Sabres just all in a good spot. I think everybody just kind of got caught looking. And Hartman comes in from the backside there. Samuelson's looking at 21 in front. He's got him and doesn't realize Hartman's snuck in from the backside there.
I love that an end-to-end goal where you fly behind your own net, you go through 5 different guys and you throw on 5 different moves and you dangle the goalie out of his jock and you bring the whole building to its feet. That goal is worth the same amount as simply yeeting your body in the general direction of a puck. Just flying at you. That's what Hartman did on this one, and yeeting your body in the direction of a puck gets you a hat pick because I said so. Now, those end-to-end wild plays where a player does it all by themselves, well, that's how we're ending this thing. We'll start with Kevin Fiala of the LA Kings, not quite all by himself, but pretty darn close.
Roy got his stick there.
Pittsburgh's been getting more shots of late.
Broken stick for Petrano. Fiala up ice. Petrano cuts off the puck. What a spectacular goal from Kevin Fiala.
His work. Missed shot with a broken stick. That creates it. Watch the edge work of the skates right here of Fiala. He's out of the play. Watch him. He holds on. Holds on. He goes to that 2 and 10, and he's able to get his stick in a shooting position. If there's one thing that European players do, and they brought to the NHL, how your feet and hands work independently from each other. There's been a lot of great skaters in the NHL.
How? Besides the fact that it was against the Ducks. How? Kevin Fiala just fighting off 2 defenders at the same time like he's Captain America in the elevator. And he buries it at the end of it all? Ew! Ew! I dropped him in fantasy earlier this season. I'm very sad about it. Ew! That's a hat pick. I shouldn't have done that. Now this next one is a pure individual effort. Braden Point, I think, even surprised himself. Take a look.
Wouldn't be the player he is. Just don't want to be shooting pucks at those guys in stripes.
Braden Point works it in. Look at Point. Go to the net. He scores. What a goal. Braden Point.
There's the turnover. Montreal's been guilty of them. He slides it in. There are 4 Montreal Canadiens, and I understand. There's nothing that you can say. Obviously, this is boys against men. This is a veteran Stanley Cup team that the Canadiens are playing. Certainly the Canadiens in a full rebuild here.
We're going to file that under that's not flying, that's falling with style. That first, initial push into the Montreal Canadiens zone, I don't think Point meant to do that. But he meant to do everything after that, and that's all that matters. Ew! Just burning the entire Habs franchise to the ground. That is a hat pick. For our second last hat pick, Brad Marchand. Brad Marchand is a member of the Boston Bruins. The Boston Bruins essentially have not lost this season. Boston did not have a shot on goal about a minute into this game. This was the first shot on goal.
The puck from everywhere last night. Oddly, his 2 goals were on tips of Kevin Labank's shots, but he had 10 shots on goal against the Ducks. Here's Marchand, and he scores on the backhand, and the Bruins are on the board a minute 3 in.
The fight. That puck cannot get through those 2 players right there, and Marchand makes them pay for it. And he pulls it onto the backhand as Labanc, Ferraro, both guys letting him cut to the inside. It's always give the outside, not the inside, and Marchand makes him pay right there with the toe drag. And then does another little backhand play here and finds a hole on Reimer.
Like, how do you not just pack it up and go home? You're playing against a team that essentially has not lost this season, and that's their first shot on net! Just Marchand incinerating an entire... How? And look at the celebration. This is ice cold. Look at this, look at this.
The backhand, and the Bruins are on the board a minute 3 in.
I'm sorry. That's the reaction of a guy who expects to win the cup this year. That is confidence, and that's a hat pick. Last, but certainly not least, Nathan Mackinnon.
In the corner, but the puck is taken away as Mackinnon splitting through. He scores! The Colorado Avalanche superstar has his team back in it.
Puts it into absolute top gear here. Just a little bump pass by Rodriguez. Give it to the speedster. He does a great job to protect this puck through the traffic. Just waiting in the weeds. When he picks this puck up, he gets his head up and he splits the D. And a nice job right here to go back into Darnell Nurse with the body. No chance for him to break up that play, and then puts it upstairs on Skinner to cut the lead in half.
Okay, so it's a really nice goal and everything that McKinnon scored, and like Stuart Skinner didn't have a chance and everything, and he's having a good season. Listen, I don't claim to have the secrets to beating Nathan MacKinnon, but can we watch that again? Look how little Darnell Nurse and Cody Cece's feet move.
When he picks this puck up, he gets his head up and he splits the D. And a nice job right here to go back into Darnell Nurse with the body. No chance for him to break up that play, and then puts it upstairs on Skinner to cut the lead in half.
Frozen, like actually frozen in fear. I get it. I get it. Listen, if you're skating forward and just full tilt your absolute fastest, trying your absolute hardest, you're probably not beating MacKinnon in a race, even with a head start. You're definitely not beating him in a race with a head start going backward. Honestly, just trip him. Just trip it, because he doesn't have as much ice to work with on the penalty shot. He might be slower. That guy's nasty. Nasty, man. That's a hat pick. Now, that is not it. Special secret one. This was actually highly requested. Here's Pyotr Kochetkov, who has been a breakout rookie goalie for the Carolina Hurricanes, with a festive post-game interview. Hat tip also to Jacob Slavin.
This man right here, his English isn't good, we're working on it, but Coochie backstopped us all night, played unbelievable, and Coochie.
Do you enjoy hearing the fans call you like this out here?
One more.
Enjoy the fans.
Yeah, you enjoy.
Yeah, very fun today, and every game and home, and unbelievable. Thank you.
His nickname is Coochie. That's what they call him. That's what they tweet. That's what Slavin said into the mic. That is how a person on the Carolina Hurricanes refers to themselves. And I tell you what, if you have a shutout like every second or third game, you can call yourself whatever you want too. That's a hat pick. So, there's the first Hat Picks video of 2023. But for now, that is it for this one. Thank you very much for watching. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all your friends. Coochie.